Hey folks, how are you? Dennis Gill, and I thought it was appropriate that I tell you the story from the car because this is where the lesson I learned occurred. Here's what went down, and it's all about my fragile male ego. It always is, and I'm going to tell it myself, but we all have these thoughts that we are like the main character in this play called life, and everybody else is a supporting cast member. Not true. It's not true, and I got humbled recently. I am an international speaker, author, and TEDx speaker, and sometimes I let that get to my head. Even though the subject I talk about is very humbling, I have been recognized. One time I was lobbying in DC and some girl goes, "Did you speak at my school?" And the people I was with were very impressed, like, "Wow, you're kind of a big deal." And then I had to remind them the subject matter of what I talk about. I talk about the two worst days of my life when I lost Mark and Matthew, my two brothers, 11 years apart. 83 and 94. I lost Mark in 83, Matt in 94 to suicide. So now I'm a mental health advocate. I talk about suicide prevention, and every now and then someone recognizes me. I'm also an international speaker. I spoke in Panama, the country, so I got that going for me. So my male ego is kind of inflated at times, and this is a story of how it got deflated. I go to church, and I often speak at churches, and one day we were approached by our church, and I say we, Dennis and my lovely wife Christine, were approached by some of the leaders at the church, and they said, "Hey, we have this assignment we want you all to do." Now I'm thinking, wow, they found out that I'm an international speaker, author, TEDx speaker, blah, 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 and they want me to do something like in a leadership role. They probably want me to run the whole church because that's where my head was going. And then they described the assignment. And here's what it is. I almost said here's what it was. It is. We took it. They wanted us on Wednesday nights to go to Publix, which is the supermarket, and pick up the food for the leaders of this thing called Regen. And Regen's a really deep dive into Christianity, and it's a self-exam. It's like getting a physical. You don't want to do it, but when you're done, you're glad you did. They wanted us to go get the food, set up the tables, so when the leaders came in, they could eat, because this occurs at 6:30 at night, and a lot of them work till 5, so they provide a meal, and then the leaders eat, and then they go and take care of the flock. Basically, they wanted us to be the caterers. I'm sitting there going, what? Don't they know what they have in those pews? The talent that I possess, don't they know? And the funny thing is, God knows exactly what I needed. So I was a little miffed about it, and God enters the chat. I didn't go the first week, and then Christine came back. So, it's not a bad assignment. We get the food, we set it up, and then we get, there's leftovers, and we take care of that, and we could eat. So, if I want to eat on Wednesdays, I guess I got to do it. So the next Wednesday I go, and sure enough, there's leftovers, and Christine, and this is God sent her my way. She's a wonderful woman. She takes the leftovers and puts them in little baggies, and we then, her idea, not mine. Remember, it's all about me. So she's a spiritual woman. She says, "No, what we're going to do on the way home," and we live in this beautiful triangle of support. We live between Miracle Hill, which is a mission, Triune Mercy Center, which is a mission, and Salvation Army, a mission, and they cater to the homeless. So we have a lot of foot traffic in our neighborhood. And she goes, "Hey, on the way home, we'll drop off the leftovers to anyone we see." I'm like, not what I want to do, but all right. So we drive around, and we drop them off. One night we pulled up to Salvation Army where a bunch of guys were sleeping over this overhang because it was raining a little bit. And literally before we got out of the car, I could hear the guy go, "Here comes a blessing," like they knew it. One night, my wife was solo. She dropped off a bag of sandwiches, and as she was getting back to the car, someone said, "Thank you, woman of God," which, she was tearing up telling me the story. She said, "I've never had a more beautiful compliment than that." And I agree. Thank you, woman of God. And then I'm going to tell you where my ego got deflated. I'm going to get a little sentimental about this, because here I was thinking it's all about Dennis. Dennis, blah, blah, blah. It's not. You can get everything in life when you help others get what they want. And that's Zig Ziglar 101. I should have that committed to memory. I used to listen to those tapes all the time, but sometimes my ego gets in the way. Here's what happened one night to me, and this is why it's appropriate. I give you this message in the car. I dropped off the sandwiches, Christine and I, at a local liquor store. And there's a couple guys hanging out in front, and I haven't had a drink in a while, 28 years, but I do remember it's always good to eat before you drink. Many a hangover, you woke up and go, oh, I should have ate something. So we dropped off these sandwiches. That's where they were that night. A bunch of guys were on the side of the building, and we pull up. She goes, hey, you guys want some sandwiches? And they go, oh, absolutely. And they take them. They take them. There goes the bus right now. I'm going to pause. They take the sandwiches, and as I'm pulling away, I could see in my rear view mirror, one of the guys with the sandwiches is handing them out one by one to the guys lining up. He's doing exactly what he should be doing, being a humble servant. And here I was, all my ego. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be a caterer. And God wanted me to see that. I'm telling you right now, he wanted me to see that. I said, Dennis, calm down. It's not about you. It's not about you. And if I did not take that assignment, I would have been denied that view to that person, treating others like he would like to be treated, and he was handing out sandwiches. So I kind of told him myself right there. That's when my ego got deflated, and I just thought somebody needed to hear this message. And usually when I do this, when I say somebody needed to hear this message, that person is me, and you're just along for the ride. So remember that. You can get everything you want in life when you help others get what they want, and I am so grateful for this assignment. And I can't look forward. I look forward to the next time we do it next Wednesday. So peace all, love you, and Dennis, check your ego, brother.